Hey guys, my name is Michael Griswold, and I've gotten some questions on my blog about, I've been talking for the last few days about anxiety and the way that medication just doesn't work, and the reasons that it doesn't work, and why it's actually more harmful to people who are suffering from anxiety, panic, depression, fear, bipolar. The reason that it's more harmful than helpful. And I've gotten some questions and some feedback based on different forums that I've gone to, and I thought it'd be helpful for you guys and for everyone who's interested in this topic to just clear up some things first. So first, the idea of medication as a means of therapy for anxiety, panic, depression, fear. Well, it's one approach, isn't it? There's a host of other issues that are involved. Let's go over a couple of them. One is that everyone's brain chemistry is different. I talk about this in my blog, about how you and I aren't exactly the same, right? So one drug might affect you one way, and one drug might affect me another way. I mean, I'm sure you've heard people who've smoked marijuana who've said, man, it was awesome. Some people said, it's stupid, I hated it. And some people said it didn't do anything, right? Drugs are that way because drugs have to interact with our unique chemistry, our unique body chemistry. And it's not an exact science. So what you could do is you could set yourself up to be in this situation where you're going to doctor and trying medication after medication after medication, and it's just disillusioning. In addition to the toll that it takes physically on your body. So that's the first thing. The second thing is there is an issue of tolerance that builds up. The example that I use in my blog is if the first time you went out to go drinking, right? If you do drink, then you'll be able to relate to this. First time you went out to go drinking, maybe it was your 21st birthday, maybe whatever. You have a beer or two, and you feel it, don't you? Especially if you had them on an empty stomach or whatever. Now, if you've even been a casual drinker for any length of time, having a beer or two doesn't affect you the same way that it did the first time, does it? And that is the effect of tolerance. That's what it means when our bodies get adjusted to whatever drugs we're putting in them. So to use that analogy in a medication sense, you might be taking Prozac or whatever drug out there, but eventually it's very easy for your body to become immune to it. And then you have to take higher doses, take them more frequently, or change medicines altogether. And again, the effect on your unique body chemistry is significant. So if that's the case, then what is the answer? Well, before I get to the answer, let me address one more thing, which is the fact that being on medication all the time can be disempowering. Look, and as someone who has had significant bouts of anxiety and fear and panic and depression, man, I know how terrifying that is. I also know that in the back of my mind, there's a part of me that wants so badly to be able to lick it, to be able to overcome it and put it to rest. Well, because I don't want to be beholden or dependent upon some drug to make me feel all right. Matter of fact, I tried that once. Went to this psychologist and told him all of the stuff that was going on. He's, I guess it was a psychiatrist because he prescribed me some drugs. And after a week, I just didn't like it. I just didn't like how it made me feel. I didn't like the effect of it. I didn't like the way that it kind of robbed me of my dignity. And I decided that I would figure out how to overcome it. So here's what worked for me. What happens to you when you have a panic attack or anxiety? Usually what controls your thinking is in the frontal lobe of your brain. It's all physical, right? And then what happens when you have a panic attack is the thinking process moves to the middle part of your brain. So there's a different part of your brain that is controlling your body. Now, who controls your brain? Well, you do. And I'll admit that it's not always easy to do that. But the fact is, you do. And if you want, like so many people, to figure out how to overcome these anxieties and these depressions, then the answer doesn't lie in just medicating them. Because I'm sure you'd be able to see how that's just kind of like covering it up a bit instead of really addressing it, right? Instead, what you want to do is, what you may want to do, I mean, it's totally up to you, but what you might want to do is learn how to control that transaction in your head. And I can hear people saying already, man, I've tried, it doesn't work, you don't understand. Look, man, you don't understand. Just like I don't know your particular situation, you don't know mine. So you might be surprised at what I am able to understand or not understand. That's beside the point. The point is that there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who have tried to overcome this anxiety, fear, and these mental hang-ups and have been successful. And let me just give you one more morsel of reason to try. Because when you do, it is absolutely enriching and satisfying. To be able to look back and see the difficulty that you were able to come up from is remarkable, and it will fill you with great delight. So I hope that cleared some things up, and be talking to you again soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.